Hello my crafty friends, it's Krista here from Second Chance Creation. Oh dear, this is like take 3 of this video. I was hoping to have this up and running quite a while ago. I got up really early this morning because there's no traffic, and of course upside down, sideways. And then all of a sudden I threw in some German words. I thought, oh my goodness me, okay, let's try again. Wish me luck. All right, Bonnie, if you're watching this, my apologies. I've actually used a digital kit. I don't use them throughout my journals, like, you know, every page. I use them sparingly as backgrounds and pictures and photos because I love to recycle. But in some cases, I just can't help myself. And of course, this digital kit I've used is from TaylorMadeJournals, Lorna, and I used vintage photos because I've got no more pictures left. And I also used her antique wallpaper kit as well. So I just, yeah, and of course, you know, she's got these photos here all in different sizes and things, so that's what I've used. So sparingly, of course. Everything else is secondhand and upcycled, and I use a lot of clothing, sheeting, doilies for those that follow me. And these, be assured, these have all been washed, okay? So I don't use them straight away from the shop. So yeah, so I've actually ordered some file folders, and because I've got quite a stack of them because I bought them from the op shop, and I actually used one of my ones from this one to make a trifold writing folio, and this is a file folder made into a journal. The cover's made from a file folder. So one is called Family and one is called Time to Reflect. So let's do this one first because that's the first one I made. Really love how it came out. And what I did this time, I made journal toppers, the cover toppers first, made from paper bags. And that sort of then got my juices flowing as to, you know, how I want the journal to go. And I'm still in my dressing gown because it's Sunday morning and it's raining. Yeah, why not? We rarely get rain out here in the west. This has a removable tie from a bed sheet, and it was in a packet, like new from an op shop, but it, you know, it's still washed, and I've left it. It was a really soft baby pink, and on this I've just attached a lovely little key, and it is removable. Okay. Both journals are very squishy. The folio is squishy as well as this one. And I've used a beautiful fabric, which was a dress, and lightly coffee dyed it. It looks vintage, but it's not, okay? And I've left the cream file folder that you can see. So it's been stitched and glued throughout. So it's quite secure and quite squishy. I'm hoping this is in the frame because I'm not going to make this video again. So you've got your paper bag pocket, and I've just popped in a little scrappy little notepad, and this is part of the vintage wallpaper. And I've backed it onto vintage wallpaper that you can just see. I just love the little polka dots peeking through. And I've used, I think this was from a magazine. I don't think this was from TaylorMadeJournals. I used a lovely linen napkin, food coloured bobbin lace doily, appliques of course, and another applique. I can't remember where I got this from. And I used my whale tail tabs that I made, but I used them as an embellishment. There's mother looking on, okay? Some scrappy threads that were hanging around made into a bow. Yes, yeah, so, and it's stitched. And of course, you've got a little tree representing family tree. And it has a secret little pocket because it just looks like a piece of trim, but you pull it out. And here I have one of TaylorMadeJournals photos backed onto one of my skins. This is of a diary, and you've got, you know, when you've got your diary, you've got your times for the day, and on the top it has the months. So that's what all those numbers are. And then I've just made this little number tag there, stitched around it, used that pretty little trim and backed it onto coffee dyed paper. I think this looks really, really cool. So thank you, Lorna. It's a lovely kit. All right, let's venture in. So this is coffee dyed pages throughout. This is 10 pages sewn in signature, so you've got 40 front and back, but you've got lots of booklets, scrappy notepads, tags, so you know there's lots of journaling space in there. And I've made this part of the folder a flip, okay, and you can just journal on this as well. I left it plain. And here I've made a tag, which was a tag, and I've turned it into a belly band. And it has some original old book pages from the inside of a Reader's Digest. And it reads to 4K with their best love from Mother and Daddy. I mean, how cool, being the family, like a family journal. April 52, so you can see it's all aged, naturally aged. So I've thought, great thing to pop in there. A little postcard just in here, bit of a collage, and I've made these little paper, little foldy envelopes, and it's a polka dot, and it was a gift bag. Okay, so you flip that up, and in here you've got a pocket. This is the antique wallpaper pen holder that you can journal on the back, and I've popped on some beads, and that's sort of like a dangle on the outside. Here I've made a lovely tag, again, you know, sisters and friends playing with their dolls. This is backed with a page from a tapestry magazine. I did a bit of stamping, stitching around, and I'm using some of my paper, Tim Holtz paper dolls. I have so many that were gifted to me now, so I've got to use them. You know, Mum and Dad when they were young, getting married, bit of the sheeting ruffled. Here I've stamped a film strip, and I used the little photos that I've just taken off here, which is like the cover sheet of the digital kit to show you what sort of photos are in the kit. So I'm actually using them as well, and they've just popped them in there, which they look pretty cool. I'll just make sure you see that. Okay. Just flip that there and put that back in here. And here I have one of my fabric flips, and this has a little poem in it, The Better Part. I won't read it to you, it'll be a little surprise. Some pages are torn, some pages are left whole. Paper doily. Here's an altered envelope, decoupage, stickers and stickers. And in this it'll have a little tag. Now, I'm not sure whether this was from the kit. It might have been from my stash, I can't remember, but I used part of the wallpaper on the backing. This is still part of the file folder, bit of lace, and you can see this is the inside of an envelope, and I've made that into a flip as well. Pretty trim just here from a handkerchief. Here I have no idea where that came from, it was just in my paper stash. This one here was a old letter that I photocopied, and it was torn, and an envelope I should say, and was torn. So I just photocopied the front, and I've made the backing from coffee dyed paper, and I've just popped in a photo engraving tag in here, popped on a Tim Holtz little photo there. This is a copy of an original photo that I was gifted a lot of original ephemera from Gracie and in Victoria. Amazing, and some of the items I can share, but some I can't. I just photocopy them on coffee dyed paper so that you can get enjoyment out of them as well. And what I have also done is use some photo corners, and I actually secured them by giving them extra bit of glue because they're self-adhesive, but because they're that old they'll come off. But you can take this out so you can pop your own photo in if you wish. Okay, so there's a few in here, and I think this is from TaylorMadeJournals. I can't 100% be sure unless it's on here, because I've used some photos from my stash as well. So Lorna, if you're watching this, I can't remember whether this was one of yours or not, but I've made it really old, backed it onto the file folder, and it's on baking paper. And here I've got a photocopied a postcard, the back of a postcard, to Fred from Aunt Blossom. I mean, how cool was this? This is from the original ephemera pack that was sent to me, and it's dated 1915, and obviously they've used it again and put 1916 on there, but of course the paper was so thin, it'd be no good to use, so I photocopied on some of my coffee dyed paper. And of course one of my little scrappy notepads. Lovely trim for my handkerchief. Here's another one. This is definitely from TaylorMadeJournals. Photo, just love it. Did a bit of stamping there. And again, you can take this out and put your own photo in here because it is a family journal. Here's one of the whale tail tabs, but I used it as a band-aid because it had a tear on that side of the page. Popped a little photo on there and with a little family tree. Altered CD envelope, and I've just popped in some of this paper. I have no idea where I got that from, but it just looked really cool, so you can pop in one of your own photos. Here's one of my altered music book page made into a little envelope. Inside you'll find one of my skins, and I made that into a little cover and did a bit of collage with some stickers and one of my envelopes. Inside is the antique wallpaper. Just love those little polka dots. This was from a magazine, and I've cut it out with my pinking shears to make it look like a stamp. German book page, and here I've made a little tuck spot. Popped in one of the little fold out envelopes and a little pricing tag, coffee dyed as well. Okay, just goes in here, it pops back in here. And one of the my stamp clusters in here as well, and of course I circled that with the charcoal pencil because it reads, "Wonder if one day that you'll say that you care." Middle of the signature, it's a beautiful pink handkerchief that must have been embroidered, not embroidered, crocheted, because it's hand crocheted. It holds in here, it holds one of my little booklets that I made from the Woolworths brown paper bags. Okay, and did a bit of collage there. You've got little pockets here, tags, so plenty of journaling spots. Here's the Matchbox booklet, and just put some papers in there. So cute, so cute. This is actually one of my stickers, which is I would have shared that, over 50 years old, and I actually fussy cut this image out. So, and this, I do believe, is this the wallpaper? Can't remember. Here is I think this was part of the ephemera from Gracie, I can't remember now, and I've just printed it onto coffee dyed paper. Made a tag here from Auntie. Let's pretend it's Auntie or a sister. Yeah, used some scrapbook paper that I coffee dyed and just backed it on with some cardstock, sari silk, and this is just a piece of jewellery. And in this pocket is a an original old vitamin requirement sheet, and this was part of the pack as well, ephemera happy mail that I received, so I thought I'll leave that in there. It's an original piece. One of my altered paper clips, and yeah, this is just a sticker, paper doily, and of course it holds an original note. Look how aged that is, isn't that cool? Love all that, you know, early days handwriting that you could understand, and they must have dotted down some numbers there. It's all naturally aged. And this is altered film slides, still from Bonny and Clive, and I've actually cut the film out to keep part of the black frame around it, and I just covered it up with some scrapbook paper, some grungy little button, and you can journal on the back. You can take it off if you wish. It's on a ball pin. Here's another photo that you can take out. Okay, so you can use the book holders to hold your own photo. This is one of my fabric cloths with the old house on it, and this is part of an envelope, and I've just used some of the antique wallpaper, and I also put it on the inside as well. Okay, and I've just used some scraps bits of paper, part of the wallpaper kit, just for a bit of colour. This is a photocopy of one of the pieces that I got from Grace, and I just attached a decoupage ticket with a rusty paper clip. And this is a piece of original survey, looks like a survey plan for the house. Let's pretend it's this house. And some writing on the typing in there, and government printer 1935, so it's quite old. Look at my coffee dyed papers, don't they look cool? Look cool. I had some tags on there, and that's what that come out at. Here's some other part of the baking paper, one of my fold out little envelopes that you can journal on, but I've also included some extra photo corners, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, got 3 sets in there, so if you wanted to add some more photos. But even though they're self-adhesive, I would put glue on them because they won't stick because they're quite old. Altered playing card. Here's a telegram I took a photocopy of. This is from Glen Innes, and it's dated 29th November 1945. Okay, so it's a copy of the original that I have. And Glen Innes is about 2 hours away from me. It's pretty local. Paper doily. I tore this page so this sort of peeks through, you know. This is part of the antique wallpaper. I've made it into a flip. Coffee dyed paper doily, piece of applique. I can't remember who gave these to me. And on the back I've got another envelope holding a cool tag. Did a fair bit of collage there. This is the Woolies bound paper bag. Okay, used as a background, and just snippets from magazines, stamping, buttons. This was in Happy Mail, the heart, and I've popped on some Tim Holtz paper dolls stitched right around it. And because this is going in and out, I've actually included another whale tail tab, but used it as a point of strengthening that paper doily. And check out the image. Isn't that cool? And that's beautiful old trim, coffee dye. And you open this up, and inside you'll have a index card, altered index card, vellum pocket, scraps of the wallpaper pieces. And this is, I photocopied this on some old paper, coffee dyed paper, and just because of that handwriting, just looks so cool. And you can journal on the back as well. It just slides back in here. And I've made a little flip from the wallpaper. Tim Holtz, might be aunties and their daughters, might be friends. You can see this is the manila folder. There's that lovely trim, my handkerchief, and I've made a pocket. Okay, little tag, and this is part of the antique wallpaper as well, and just my little label there. So it looks, just really enjoyed making this and how it comes out. Like I said, it's got textures and feels squishy. So that's that one. And this one is a trifold. This is a slightly bigger, and you'll see what it holds. Again, I've used one of my file folders, those dark greenish old ones, and wanted to make something bigger. And again, I used TaylorMadeJournals kit with the wallpaper and the photos. Again, a paper bag pocket, and I've strengthened it by gluing on some scrapbook paper that I had that I really use. You can just see it here. I've also, there's a piece of the file folder. I've used that a little bit to bring out the green. This is one of my skins, okay, to bring out the browns. Beautiful tattered doily. This is one of my clusters, and it's got the rusty ring, this jewelry, and this is the fabric that I used. This is the edge of a 12 by 12 paper pad, had all these clocks. I thought, yes, time to reflect, definitely. This is a photo from TaylorMadeJournals, thank you. And what I'd done was I had this cardstock, I covered it with this antique wallpaper, and then I ripped the circle out, sort of like, you know, drew it first, then I ripped it and just cut around here just to make it look a bit dimensional. Tattered doily. This was a brooch, and it was real bright silver, so I soaked it in vinegar and salt for 2 days, and it come up like that. Looks pretty cool. Beautiful soft fabric, bit of trim, lots of layering on this, and just from doilies, okay. And I used a white one here just to pick up the white throughout, and of course it has a pocket. And this came to me in some Happy Mail a few days ago, quite a surprise, how appropriate, small pieces that make the big moment. So she's reflecting on the big moment, just try it, why not? And that's the tag that came with it, so I thought, how cool was that? And all I did was just change the top and put on one of my Scrappy clusters with a piece of string just there, and that just pops in there. All right. The tie is attached, and with it comes, I've put in a little clock representing time to reflect on a bowl pin, so you can move that if you wish. All right, let's go in. This is exciting. I really enjoyed making this because everybody seems to make these altered 5 folders, and I always said one day, one day, one day. Well, one day has come. All right, so let's do the front. I might have to move this a bit so you get to see the bottom. This is from TaylorMadeJournals. It's the cover page where you'll see all the different parts of wallpaper that you can print out. So, but I use that as well. Here's one of my collage labels, a bit of doily trim. This is the colour of the file folder, which you'll see, and you turn that down. This is the colour here, okay. Made a belly band from my skins, popped on a sticker, Scrappy notepad, and a little postcard in the back. And then you come here, this is an altered envelope. You can still see where it says postage stamp. Okay, so on the top, got a Scrappy notepad, and this is a TaylorMade journal, and I've just used that as a tag, kept it flat with one of my clusters. Just pops back in here, and then on the side you have a little altered playing card booklet. Okay, just stitched together. Okay, and you've got some little tags in there to use. Little tag you can use in here, and that just pops in the side, just there, peeking through. Where I've joined the signature and the Midori, I've strengthened with some fabric, which happens to be the same fabric as this one, because this was a doona cover, and it had the print on one side and plain on the other, washed of course. And what I've done is, when I did the tie, because it frays, I've singed the edges with a candle, okay, so it won't fray. So of course, as you open up, you'll greet it with a pen, which you'll need when you start journaling. This came off a dress, and it's a part of the bodice, and you can see this is the little skirty bit, and I've left that on there. It looks pretty cute, and I've cut it in such a way that it's a pocket. The journal itself, the cover itself, is covered with this cloth and with a hand crocheted table runner. You'll see it when I turn it over. So you flip it open, and you've got your sewn in journal, blank, with just a couple of bits and bobs in there. Okay, another index card, paper bow, paper clip, and one of my tags, and just a journaling card. Here I've actually used a couple of the whale tail tabs. Okay, one of the photos, and there's another one here. Oops, sorry, just there. So this is sewn in, and the front and the back is done with just a vellum page for a bit of interest. The back, of course, has a pocket, and I've kept the file folder that colour and just covered it with some coffee dyed lace so you can see it peek through. This is part of the wallpaper, absolutely gorgeous. This was in a Happy Mail. How appropriate was that? And I've just popped on one of my decoupage stickers on there. This is one of the envelope pouches that I shared with you in the previous videos. It's got a couple of goodies in there. My scrappy little notepad. Okay, and I topped it with the wallpaper. And one of my little collage tags. And, you know, is she reflecting on the 30th or something? So, yeah, and this is a film slide, okay? Part of a film slide. And just backed it up with some coffee dyed papers. And then we get to this stage, and this is a Midori style insert. So you can pop in whatever you like in this folder. And I've popped in, this is an altered envelope. And there's a little tag that I've made. This is from the kit as well. Did a bit of stamping. You can journal on that. The tie is attached. This is again the cover from the digital kit of Wallpapers, so you can see all the papers. Just love how that turned out. And in it you've got the lined pages, okay? And there's the elastic, so you can add. You can take this out if you wish, and pop it in a bag or something, but the tie is secured, okay? And it's a seam, just a coffee coloured seam binding. This is from a napkin, beautiful linen cloth that's embroidered. And then on the back of it you find another belly band. This is still the wallpaper. Here's an original piece of ephemera, a note. As you can see, it's pretty well aged. Okay, just had some handwriting on it. I thought that looked pretty cool, just peeking out. And then on this side, you've got a lovely big tag here. I do believe this is still from Kristinas Shack. Yes, it is. It's got all those lovely colours. And you can journal on this. And I've used the wallpaper part there. And this is, and I've left this so you can see the original file folder. And it had the lines there, so you can journal on this. This is jelly printed fabric. This is the wallpaper. This jelly printed fabric comes from Stellas Scrappy Crafts. I'm going to leave a link to her Etsy store in the description box, and also TaylorMadeJournals as well, and Bonny and Clive. So all the people that I've mentioned, I'll pop in the description box below. Altered envelope, did a bit of collage, and you can also find some extra bits of paper to journal on. It's a paper pad that was in the op shop, and I thought, well, that will just lend itself quite nicely. So you just close her up like this, and like this, and then on the back of it, I've made it a belly band. There's that beautiful fabric, and I used a leftover file folder, grunged it up a bit, and it had writing on it, and I kept that on there and just popped a tag that I can't remember where that come from. So as you can see, it's beautiful, that hand crochet doily. It's definitely hand crochet, not machine crochet. This is the jelly printed fabric from Stella, and I used that, put that on there to help prevent the wearing out of the doilies on the edges. So if you're going to use it, lay it down all the time, you know. And it's just lend itself. It's got the blues and the browns. It looks really pretty. And pop that in there, so you can pop anything in there. So yeah, so that's the Trifold writing folio. Time to reflect. Again, it's nice and squishy. So if you like squishy, this is the one. Or maybe this one, or both. So yeah, so I've got other items that are going in my Etsy store, but they're so little. I don't need to do a video. The photos will be explanatory in themselves. I'll have all the dimensions and amount of pages in the Etsy listing as well. So I hope you enjoyed that little walkthrough, and the sun's coming out after the rain, so I've got to get dressed. I'm still in my dressing gown. So happy Sunday everybody, and stay safe, and happy crafting. Bye for now.